What's up, guys? Welcome to Zenith Astrology. Today we're going to be talking about what happens when you have the planet of love in the sign of Aries. So, what does Venus represent? Venus represents harmony, how you relate to other people, how other people relate to you, how you've been related to in the past, a bit. Well, that's more the moon, but it does symbolize that, especially if you have it in a sign that's associated with the past, like Cancer. But we're talking about Venus and Aries today. This is a sign of war, like I stated in my other videos. So this doesn't mean that you're Aries, but this is basically how you relate to other people. This is only one part of your personality. The only way that could be true is if you have your luminary in Aries. So, you know, if you're gonna buy a gift for someone, I wouldn't do it by Venus sign. I would do it by moon sign if it's a really deep relationship. Sun sign if it's a professional relationship or friendship, and Venus sign if it's someone you love or someone that loves you. It also stands for what you find beautiful, and when you have it in Aries, it means that you find people who have Aryan characteristics. They don't have to be someone who is a Aries. They could have their ruler emphasized in their chart, which doesn't make them an Aries, but they have Aryan characteristics, so you will be tended to be attracted to them. For instance, I'm not an Aries, but I have Jupiter conjunct Mars in my chart, and Jupiter blows up whatever it touches. So my Martian characteristics are blown up by Jupiter. In the sign of Virgo, I have my Mars in Virgo conjunct Jupiter, and my mate actually has this placement, so which is cool because you can get some of the traits of Aries without getting the minor malefic tendencies, but it still holds true because Venus is what they say, not comfortable here. But like I said, I don't like to say certain planets are not comfortable in certain positions because, the universe wouldn't set it up that way if it wasn't meant for a reason. So, it basically means that your love nature is just starting out in the zodiac. It's a bit needs to grow more because this is like the first, the start of the zodiac. You have your Venus in the what's associated with the start of the zodiac, or a sign that needs to mature more. It also shows what type of clothes you wear because Venus is kind of like a fashion. I don't know if it rules fashion, but I always see it. People like fashioning themselves by their Venus and ascendant placements. So, I have a Leo ascendant, but I usually see myself gravitating towards things that are Piscean. Pisces colors are going to come off pastel. I like a lot of light blues. Not really anything too strong of a color, on me, because Pisces is about subtlety. So I like clothes that are subtly colored, or I don't even like that's just what I gravitate towards. So you can see how somebody dresses by the way of their Venus placement. But I always thought, because they say that Venus and Pisces, wouldn't get along with Venus and Aries. Some people might think that because it's fire and water, but to me, it's a spiritual. To me, it's spiritually symbolic because it's taking the beginning of the zodiac and the end of the zodiac and putting it together, and I think that makes for something. So if you're Pisces, well, that makes for something. It just makes for something. So, but it basically shows how you love. So these people are going to be the type that are very direct, because Mars has an arrow on it, so it's a very direct planet. But it being so direct, it can get itself. That's why Aries is known as a minor malefic, because it's a little too direct and self-centered. So Venus in Pisces is the most exalted planet in the horoscope can be, and I'm not trying to brag about it. That's just what I have. But the reason why is because Venus represents love, and even in Libra, it's a little. I'm not gonna say it's better or worse. It's just the Venus in Pisces is gonna be the most evolved when it comes to relating. So I think that's actually why my mate actually likes my placement, because Aries is about working hard, but they also want to get there quickly. So I feel like my mate knows that I have the last placement, and that helps them, because Aries wants to do the right thing. Aries wants to win. The deepest representation of Aries is wanting to win by doing the right thing, and not just wanting to win just to win. So I think they actually get that, but it shows how you relate to other people. So you could come off in a minor malefic type of way to other people, or an abrasive type way, and you might not even know it, or people might find you immature in the way that you relate to other people. For me, it hasn't really been that bad, because they have a Capricorn moon, so that like stabilizes and matures their personality. That's why I have to take everything in the chart into consideration. But if you have I had a neighbor that had an Aries moon and a Venus in Aries and Mercury in Aries, and she was a Taurus. So she passed away, but she ended up like abandoning her kids. So that's like the bad type of Aries. Like, she had so much Aries energy where she was just really selfish. So and Taurus is also a sign of can be a sign of selfishness. She had a lot of selfish placements, selfish planets. And once I really got to know her personality, I was like really shocked when she told me that, because that's what happened to me. And I kind of backed off from her after that. So that's the thing. When you have this placement, you have to be careful, especially with other more selfish signs. Venus and Mercury are never too far from the sun, so you only have this with certain planets. But if you have it with a Taurus, you got to be careful because Taurus is a sign that is very focused on its body and itself and kind of getting its own way at all times. So you have to be careful with that. Um, that's what I mean when you can see how the love nature will be, a minor malefic. It's known as a minor malefic. There's greater malefics, but they represent something different. Like Aquarius is a greater malefic, but it means in terms of society. You have to take what Aquarius means, and since it's a societal planet, that actually means that the greater maleficness of Aquarius doesn't necessarily mean that the Aquarius is going to bring a greater malefic to your life. It means socially that they've been through greater malefic type of things because it's a social sign, it's a future-oriented sign. So the minute that an Aquarius is born, their future is being affected. And if you're a child and you're being affected in the future, it's nothing that you can do. It's nothing you're doing. But since Aries is only associated with now and starts, and it's not really associated with the future, what these people are doing, and it's a very individualistic sign, it usually comes out because of the selfish things that they tended to do, and not really anything the society did wrong, because Aries doesn't symbolize society like Aquarius does, or Scorpio too, because Scorpio is a collective sign. The planets past Saturn are collective signs, so it's really about what the collective is doing wrong in the signs of Scorpio and Aquarius, to the point where they grow up and their personalities can be greater malefic like, but as long as you help them out and try to heal the way the collective raised them, then the greater malefic tendencies can turn into a greater benefic, because, and I've never heard that said before, but that's the logic of it. I've had people take the greater malefic things that I've been through in my childhood and turn it into a greater benefic. They were able to be there for me in ways that my parents weren't, or but that's one thing about this sign, since it's a sign of leadership, and it represents bravery. You can be very brave in love, and that's the deepest way to be a Venus and Aries. And I have noticed my mate do that. They were brave with me. They were help me with things that I didn't have as a kid, and to help me have them now as an adult. Yeah, so they were able to help me with things that I didn't have as a kid, and help me with it as an adult. So, but it just basically means that you want to be a leader in the relations that you have, and yeah, so people, because in the way that you relate, you're gonna come off Aryan, even though you don't have an Aryan personality. So if you want someone who's going to be brave in love for you and be a leader in love for you, then you should get a Venus in Aries, because they'll be like that. But in a general sense, you really have to have other aspects that mature the personality, or else they're going to be the minor malefic type of personality. That's why I say a minor malefic can turn into a greater malefic, because if you have I know if I'm saying minor malefic, greater malefic, you have to look it up on your own time, and I'll make a video explaining what it means. But I like to speak, even though the people don't really might not know what it means. I like to explain it in the moment, And I believe your subconscious gets it. That's why I just speak, even though you don't know it, might not know what it means exactly right now and how that makes any sense. But minor malefic is a term for like minor injury. So these people could have some type of minor injury in the way that they feel love, and if you don't heal it, whatever it is that happened with your love nature in the sign of Aries, you could. Uh, it can turn into a minor malefic, which if you have a minor injury, it can turn into a major injury. That's why I'm saying, most of the time they should be uh, brave in love, fighters in love, leaders in love, and have a uh, nice way of relating, as long as they don't have if their Venus is heavily aspected by greater malefics, then it's going to be more abrasive, and it's going to be the negative characteristics. But you have to get a reading done by me or for the person that that has Venus in Aries, so I could tell you how it is, because depending on what planets are aspecting Venus, this person could actually grow to hate love. That's kind of how I saw my neighbor. She grew to hate love. She was hating love. She was burning it, and she kind of put on like a front. That's what I noticed. Like that she had it all together, and that's why I was really shocked once she told me that she had abandoned her kids, and she had all this, Venus and Aries. That's why I'm saying it can be an immature placement. So if you're not ready to help the person mature with their love nature and forgive them and stuff like that. That's why Venus is said to be exalted. Well, one of the reasons why Venus is said to be exalted in Pisces, because it's about self-sacrifice. So yes, there are some things that my mate could have said or done that I felt were abrasive, but since my Venus is in Pisces, it's about self-sacrifice. I mean, as long as they're not like a child abandoners or abusers, then I can sacrifice whatever it is. And that's what Venus in Pisces is about. So when you get to the, in your next life, you should be Venus in Taurus and then Venus in Cancer. Uh, but yeah, so you know, um, yeah, they should be, depending on the other aspects. Leaders in love, and brave in love, and very passionate, because you have Venus in a fire sign, so they say it's debilitated here, but it can be a positive depending on the other aspects in the chart. That's what I'm saying. That's the difference. My mate's a Gemini with a Capricorn moon, and that makes them more mature, and Saturn doesn't just let them do things just because their Venus and Aries might want to go do it. Uh, but and they also say that Venus and Aries is what I find a lot of astrologers saying, which can give you the wrong idea, is that this placement is always going to be looking for the new, and that's not true depending on the other aspects. So don't think that just because your mate has this placement, because I got a little bit freaked out by that when I was reading about Aries before, because I have a Scorpio moon. So, if you have a Venus in Aries with a, yeah, if you have a Venus in Aries with a Scorpio moon, you can bet that that person is not going to be going on to the new. That's why you have to, figure it out, figure out the chart. Well, you know, a lot of you like to do your own chart. I don't know how good that is, because that's how you can get yourself in trouble. There's a lot of people writing stuff, just parroting stuff without really noticing how other people are acting. And that's why Aquarius is one sign that rules astrology, because they want to observe things before they actually speak it. whereas Aries might want to speak it before they observe it, and then it comes out wrong. So that's what I'm saying. Don't believe that just because a person has Venus in Aries, this means that they're going to be going on to new things and they're never going to be satisfied. That's absolutely not true. So don't feel like that's the thing with my mate. If I had to entertain them constantly, like that's what they said, like that you have to be constantly entertaining this placement, and it's not true. Yes, they want to go out and do things, new things, but it's because they want to create it themselves. And Venus in Pisces is like, okay, I'll come along for the ride. You know, Venus in Pisces, I've already been Venus in Aries, so I could do it. That's the thing Venus and Pisces can also do. You know, they can go and be any other sign because they've already been all the other Venus signs, so it doesn't faze me to go with them. But that's what I'm saying. If you're a Venus in Taurus, or if you're a Scorpio and you're dating somebody with Venus in Aries, don't think that they're just going to be out there cheating and stuff like that, because that's not true. That's really sad that other astrologers have written that without actually knowing anything or seeing it actually going down. Because if they have Capricorn placements or Scorpio placements or fixed sign placements, you know, those are about stability. They want stability. They want tradition. They want to. Aquarius is about going through instability, but Aquarius is a fixed sign, so they want stability. You know, that's what I noticed. So, don't think that that's going to be true for every single placement. So, yeah. So there's nothing really else to say about it, because this is not, this does not make you an Aries. This does not make that person an Aries. So, I wouldn't go treating this person like an Aries, only letting them lead in the relationship, because Aries is about wanting to lead, so that's where they're going to want to lead in the relationship. And luckily my Venus is in Pisces. It could go either way. So if you have a Venus in Scorpio, Scorpio also likes to lead if you have a Sun in Scorpio, so there might be a little bit of abrasiveness there. But I think since Scorpio is a introverted sign, it should be able to let Aries lead, and just Venus and Aries lead in the relationship. They want to. Yeah. So this was my Venus and Aries video. All right, guys, take care.